Job's done. Warcraft. Consider this to be an overdue review, and I was not going to talk about this movie. I really wasn't, but you know what? I am susceptible to peer pressure, and when a couple of people were like, no, we want you to do a video, I'm like, fine, I'll do a video. This is your fault, Jeff. In any case, first, little bit of background for my stance on Warcraft as a video game franchise, which I think we're still going to consider it. I don't think we're going to go, and now film franchise. Nah. But in any case, my thing with Warcraft, I played Warcraft 2, beat it. Warcraft 3, beat it. I never played World of Warcraft. That's mainly because I knew how much time I had lost to Diablo 2. I was pretty sure that World of Warcraft would have swallowed my life. So I never did World of Warcraft, and my sort of knowledge of the lore at this point primarily comes from playing Hearthstone every now and again. So I have a working knowledge of some of the major features, a lot of the general background details of this world and of this story. I think more so than you would expect from most mainstream audiences. So in a way, I should have a leg up going into this, right? Ooh, no, not so much. Seriously, I came that close to opening up a wiki while I was watching this thing. I decided, no, that's cheating. I'll try and accept this thing on its own terms, but you can't. I mean, unless you are just drenched in Warcraft lore, you will not be able to keep track of what is going on. They're just dropping names of locations, of characters, and they keep referring to these our main characters. I'll put that in quotes. I'll explain why in a minute. They keep dropping their names over and over and over again, but we never really get to know any of these characters. So that, on top of the fact that so many names get thrown out at us, basically anytime a character's name was said and that character was not right there in the shot, I was always going, wait, who is that? And when I put quotes around main characters, that has to do with the fact that this thing doesn't give us any development of really anybody. We're shown these characters and we're told all this stuff about all that, but this movie, for the budget that it has and how much money you can see that they spent, it does a lot of telling over showing. I mean, ridiculously so. The number of major plot points that happen off screen and just get talked about. Like the very first time that the orcs attack a human civilization, that should be a huge moment. That is the event that sparks war. This is called Warcraft, and we don't see it. Like at all. Anyway, we show the orcs coming to this world, and then there's a couple of scenes, couple of cuts, and then it's a bunch of human knights and a king talking about how their villages are being attacked, and I'm going, wait, huh? There was one point, especially early on, I swear to God that I wish I'd actually timed this, because it felt like the thing jumped location 4 times in 4 minutes and introduced 6 new characters. I'm just going, whoa, 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 whoa! The CGI is... It's fine. It's not great. It doesn't look real, okay? So if you go in expecting realistic CGI, it's not. This is not the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's not even close. But I will say I got used to it over time. It's not bad. It looks interesting. It's not dull to look at. It's just not real. You know, I said we didn't get to know any of the main characters very well, and most of them we don't. First of all, too many dang characters, and we don't get to know most of them very well at all outside from their plot function. So we've got all these things that are supposed to be big emotional moments, like a character who loses a son, and like these old friends, and there's betrayals that go on, but we haven't seen these relationships. We haven't spent time with this father and son so that has any impact. We haven't spent time seeing these people be friends before things started to fray. We're just seeing it come apart. We're taking the movie's word on context rather than having any of it. Some of the orcs fare, but actually, as a whole, the orc story works much better than the human story. Unfortunately, the orcs don't get as much time, but the orc characters are slightly more developed than the human characters. Moments that we get with them actually build the relationships and things just a little bit more. Not quite enough where I'm gonna go, this is what the movie should have done, because it wasn't really doing that well either, but it was doing that better with the orcs than it was with the humans. Now, here's the really infuriating thing. For as much as I've just been complaining pretty much nonstop about this thing, there are moments when it is so much fun. The first action scene, like the first real serious fight between the orcs and the humans, I had a huge grin on my face. I'm watching an orc lift up a horse and throw it at knights. It was awesome, and it was fun, and it was such a small percentage of this 2-hour movie. And I kind of wish this thing got so bogged down in trying to convey all of the lore that it forgot to be entertaining, because when it actually gives us some of these combat moments and some of these fights, and basically when it lightens up on the epicness of it and just it's fun. There are even some cool little nods to the game that I thought were fun. I heard a Murloc gurgle. That made me grin hugely. And that was the kind of Easter eggs they needed to be dropping, as opposed to just tossing 50,000 names that, if you aren't memorizing the wiki page on Warcraft, mean nothing to you. And ultimately, that's where the frustration comes in, is that there were glimpses and moments of how fun this could be. I think the thing took itself too seriously. I think it needed to lighten up and be a little bit more campy, a little bit more embracing of the absurdity of this, because this is nuts. Now, it's not as self-serious as, say, Batman v Superman, and as a result, I would actually say this is more entertaining than Batman v Superman. I'm not going to go so far as to say it's actually a better movie. It probably isn't. But it's more fun, and I would watch this again before I would watch Batman v Superman again. I'll tell you that if you are ever going to watch this, if you haven't already, here's a drinking game for you. Take a drink every single time somebody says, "Where's the Guardian? What's going on with the Guardian? Somebody get the Guardian," or any variant of something like that. You will be blitzed throughout this whole movie. So there you go with Warcraft. Did you sit through this thing going by the box office? You probably didn't, but if you did, what were your thoughts on it? Drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitter at Council of Geeks, where I actually did a live streaming reaction to this movie, so you can check out that if you want to. Give a listen to the Council of Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, and until next time, this council is adjourned.